Hello, I'm Jim Cassetta, of the local history librarian at the Pearl River Public Library. And as you know, we are celebrating 60 years here on Franklin Avenue. And today I'm going to interview Sue DeFelice, who I attended school with and lived in the same neighborhood. So we will have a lot, I'm sure, to talk about in common. So welcome, Sue. Thank you for coming here today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. When did you come to Pearl River?
I was born in Nyack Hospital, so I've lived here all my life.
Excellent. How many years is that?
It will be 58 years in April.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Given my age.
Yeah, I know. I didn't purposely do that.
No, that's okay. I don't mind.
What was your earliest memory?
My earliest memory
Mm-hmm.
of Pearl River? Or
Of
just...
Pearl River.
Oh, I could tell you going to Fordham Pizza with a quarter and putting it on the counter and asking for a slice of pizza.
Right. I remember.
I couldn't see over the counter, so that's probably one of my earliest. That and going to the bakery.
Tucker's.
Yes.
Right.
And getting a jelly donut.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on South William Street, and they used to send me on Sunday. I had to get 2 jelly donuts, 2 corn muffins, and what was the other thing I had to get? Oh, Kaiser rolls. I had to get 4 Kaiser rolls, and that was my job. And then I had to stop at Sontag's to get the newspaper or Braunfels.
Okay.
Did you go to Braunfels when you were a kid?
All the time.
All the time.
Auction Outlet. 5 and 10.
Right.
Joe's Deli.
Joe's Deli. Did you ever eat a sauce roll?
Yes.
My aunt invented the sauce roll. That was her recipe.
Wow.
And when I was a kid, it was 35 cents.
Yeah.
So there we go and stop in after school. And
I remember it being 50 cents, so inflation.
I remember Fordham Pizza being 45 cents.
Well, like I said, I remember going up with my quarter, so I had to be really young.
Yeah, you must have been, because I wasn't even buying pizza in those days. My father was.
Well, no, my dad would
pizza.
take us. He would take one of us, or both of my sister and I. Whether we went to the post office or we went into town for something, and we'd stop and get pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd want to pay. I'm 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever, and I want to put my quarter on the counter.
On the counter. And he was happy to get it, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He probably laughed. A friend of mine, Pat Kelly, worked for him.
Oh, all right. Yes, yeah. I remember Pat.
And I said, why was the pizza so good? We used to buy it and sit on the curb and just let the sauce run into your tongue.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so good.
I remember sitting on the radiator in the bay window, or the window that he had in the shop.
Mm-hmm. Pat used to tell us that he'd say, that's because when he comes out of the bathroom, he doesn't wash his hands.
Don't tell me that now.
That's what he used to say. But, it's, those are fond memories. Where'd you go to elementary school?
I went to Franklin Avenue Elementary School.
As I did, right?
Yeah.
At Franklin Avenue. Who was your favorite teacher there?
Probably my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Jameson.
Mrs. Jameson.
And I actually remember her. And she did kindergarten screening for my daughter when she started Franklin Avenue.
Mm-hmm. How long has she been working in the school district?
Total or?
Total, yeah.
I have no idea, but if you want to do some math, I can throw some ages at you.
Well, I'm thinking just maybe it was Mrs. Jameson who also worked in the middle school for a while. Did she ever work in the middle school?
No, she was a kindergarten teacher, and she was only a teacher for a year or two before I had her.
Okay.
And then she retired the year my daughter started. So my daughter started there. I started there in probably 70 or 68.
Okay.
70.
One of my brothers had Jameson. Yeah. That's why it ticks off in my head, because I could remember. I think it was my youngest brother who graduated in 1986.
He's younger than me.
Yeah. And then 84 was my brother John. And
he's younger than me too.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he had it, but I remember the name being bandied about the house, because one of them had her.
Probably at least your brother that graduated in '84.
Yeah, maybe it was John who had
Probably
James.
maybe your other brother.
Yeah.
She was there. She was there till that year that my daughter, the summer before my daughter started. She retired that summer.
Now, because you've gone, you're born here and you've gone to school, where did you get your first library experience?
Probably here.
It was here. Okay. Good.
Probably.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember. I just remember coming and picking Judy Blume books out, so it must have been here.
Did you attend programs when you were a kid?
Maybe. I don't remember.
How about older, where within memory?
No, when I was in high school, it wanted nothing to do with the library.
As most of us did.
Unfortunately. And then when I got older, I got back into reading and coming to the library, and then I brought my kids to all the programs.
It's amazing how there's a demographic. It goes up to a certain age, then there's a gap because, nobody wants to come here. And then, as far as kids, and then you'll start again in your working life, and eventually we'll all probably be here when we're retired.
Yep.
And so those are the sort of the demographics we serve. It's funny how those gaps come in. Sometimes has to do with working. But what'd your parents do?
My mother was a homemaker, and my father started as a carpenter, and then was Spring Valley Police, and then Orangetown PD before he retired. Right.
How many years did he work for Orangetown?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He was Orangetown before I was born in '65, and he retired in '84.
Probably had about 30 years then in service. That's good. And where did you live? What street did you grow up on?
South Middletown Road.
Right. Your house was, I believe, the former Comey's house, and they had hired help, and they're supposedly somewhere in there was a separate house where people lived for a while, and then it was torn down. And
there was an apartment building behind us, but that wasn't as old as our house was.
Right.
There was like a 2 or 4 family apartment building back there.
Yeah.
And that was torn down shortly after they built Blue Hill. It was abandoned for a while, and then they plowed it into the basement and covered it in dirt. I think we're talking about the same building. Yeah, that was Clarence Combs was the last surviving member. And in 1969, I believe he died, or 70. So the property had been sold. And I guess your folks bought it. My parents bought it. My sister was born in '60, and so they bought it in '61.
In '61, okay. All right. Well, eventually it was sold, yeah. And there are allegedly burials in that area.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I've combed the woods back there. I've never found anything, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No,
they
would
would bury their family on their own property.
No, you'd be.
Before we had cemeteries.
Yeah, well, some people did do that. Up on Ann Street, there's a family burial ground, Conklin Gesner.
Okay,
and it's gone. In about 1908, they were building homes up there, so they just plowed it under. And that was great.
Sorry. See ya.
That's funny. Could you tell me how you value the library and its relationship with the community?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Is it?
I don't know how to answer it.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase that. What does the library give to the community that you've seen, aside from working here today, but growing up also? What is its value?
I mean, it's a place for people to come. There's lots of programs for people to do. There's things for the kids to do. It's a place to get to know people. Place to educate yourself. Like, I love to read, so reading is learning.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You're an avid reader?
I try.
Yeah, well, that's good. Who are your favorite authors?
And what's your favorite genre?
Well, I read a lot of YA, so I like a lot of dystopian and stuff like that.
Mm.
I read mystery, Janet Ivanovich. I read pretty much anything that's. I like quick read. I'm not a nonfiction reader unless it's about somebody or something I really like.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, lots of kids' books.
Do you remember any kind of events in town that stayed with you
Yes.
all these years?
Yeah. I remember the bicentennial celebration,
Mm-hmm.
watermelon eating contest.
Oh, you're talking about the centennial in 1970. Yeah.
Centennial.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I always, every year, look forward to the sidewalk sales, which they don't have them anymore. And
No.
Pearl River Day is nothing like the
No.
sidewalk sales.
No.
Pearl River Day now is vendors.
Right.
The sidewalk sales were the town merchants putting their stuff out for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was 13 and I had saved money, my allowance for months, to get a TV from Watzke's TV. And my dad took me down the week before the sidewalk sale to see what he was going to put on sale.
Mm-hmm.
And he let me buy the TV at sale price the week before the sale.
Wow, he was a good guy. Tom sold it to you? Tom Watzke?
I don't know, the older gentleman, he was like my father's age.
That's Tom. Yeah. That was Tom. Yeah, he was a very nice man. Mm-hmm. He used to like to play golf, and I believe he was a neighbor of Vicky Beale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, so those are some of my memories of growing up here.
Mm-hmm.
I already told you about the bakery and the pizza place.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's fine. The Pearl River didn't have a true public library until 1963. But prior to that, there was an association library where people subscribed for $1 a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they felt that a town wasn't a town without a library. Do you feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how some of these places don't have a library for
their, especially in this day and age.
There's so much. The library offers more than just books and magazines. I mean, you've got internet, you've got educational programs coming in, you've got all kinds of stuff going on.
Absolutely.
You need the library.
Yes, oh, absolutely. I would be lost if I had to move. If I had to move to a town without a library, I wouldn't move there.
No,
I just wouldn't, because even though you have the internet, let's say someday when I retire, I go to I don't know, some place up in the woods. I could sit there on the computer and wait for the UPS man to come send my stuff. I could download the documents, but it's just not the same.
No, I still like to hold the book or hold what I'm reading.
See,
not a digital.
Right.
I do it, but I prefer.
Yeah.
Prefer to hold the book in my hand.
See, now I read magazines online, but it pales in comparison to coming in here and sitting down and having that whole choices, all those choices in front of you, and taking each one, maybe reading 2 or 3.
Sometimes you need that hands-on and in front of you to figure out what you want to read.
Sure, especially individuals that are tactile. If you're a tactile learner like I am, that's what you want. There's comfort in that. So I'd like to thank you for coming, and
thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, and talking to us. And I think it was great that we have a hometown girl who's been here and really has the experience of town. And I'd like to thank everybody watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.